Hey guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today I wanted to do a little walkthrough of my workshop and show you guys what I've been working on for the past few months here and talk a little bit about what's to come next on the channel with these projects. So first I want to talk about this 1979, well it's a 1980 Honda CB750F. So far on this I've removed the engine, I've painted the engine stock silver color, and I've painted the frame. Have painted the forks. This is going to be a nut and bolt restoration as well, just like the Suzuki I showed you guys in the last video. I sanded down these rims and clear coated them to give this nice kind of a stock finish look, because these get corroded over time, so they were looking pretty rough before I restored them. I've already done a valve adjustment. I've replaced the shims that need to be replaced. I got these new shocks because the older ones were toast and they were not rebuildable. I've already fully restored and rebuilt the carburetors here. Fully disassembled them and cleaned every piece, cleaned out the jets. So those are ready to install. There's not much left to do on this bike, just cosmetic work and putting the pieces together. I've got all the brake parts over here. I've already taken, these are spares, but I've already taken all the master cylinders and calipers, and I stripped those down and I powder coated those. So I'll show you those here in a minute. And other than that, I got a little paint work to do on the tank and the body work, and this thing should be ready to go down the road. Secondly, here we have this 1993 Honda CBR900RR. This is also going to be a nut and bolt restoration, so as you can see I stripped it down pretty far. I don't think that I'm going to take the engine out, just because these engines, you know, they're not painted and they're easy enough to access and clean while they're in the frame. So once I get the wheels powder coated and I finish rebuilding the forks here, I'm going to roll this thing outside and degrease it, clean it all up, make it all nice, and then I'll start putting that back together. I've already rebuilt the carburetors for that, so those are ready to throw on. And here we have another 1993 CBR900RR. This one's a little dirty. I took the rear wheel off. I stole some parts from it for this project, but I will be fully rebuilding this bike. I think my plan for this one is a little bit more of a custom job. This is the red, white, and blue model. That's going to be completely stock, 100% stock. I think I'm going to do a little bit of a custom job with this. I've got a 93 to 95 VFR 750 single-sided swing arm, which is a direct swap onto this bike. So I think I'm going to go with the single-sided swing arm with the 8-spoke wheel. I've considered having someone weld me a header that brings the exhaust into the left side, but not 100% sure on that part yet, but we'll get there. Obviously it needs to be cleaned up quite a bit. The reason I was going to go a little more custom with this is because I wanted more of a rider, and the body work was pretty beat up on this bike, so it's not going to be 100% stock. Unlike the red, white, and blue, the body work is completely pristine. So that is actually going to be 100% original. Decals, bodywork, paintwork, I'm not going to touch any of that, thankfully. And down here, tucked away, because who knows when I'm going to get to it, but I have this 1985 Honda VF1000R. Here's a spare tank. I have two tanks for this. I have one a bit nicer than this, but I've removed it from the frame. The frame has been repainted the stock color. Here's the forks. I've stripped the forks down. Those are ready for paint. I'll show you guys the frame here in a minute, but that project's on the back burner. I think it's just going to be a little more work than the rest of these to finish up, so I figured I'd take care of these first and then I'll tackle that later on. And yeah, this is my workspace, and these are what I'm working on currently. And here in a minute, I'll show you guys the frame for that bike, and then also a few of these powder coated parts I'm working on. And yeah, I apologize for the mess, but here we have the 1985 VF1000R frame already painted, looking literally good as new here. So whenever I get back to this project, I just got to put that engine back in this frame and then get moving on that. Here we have the windscreen and the tailpiece for that, and then there is the tank for that project. This bike has, I think, 5,000 miles. It's 5 or 8,000. It's a low mile bike, so that's why I decided to go this far with the restoration, because it's going to be really nice. Here's some of the original bodywork for the CB750F. This is actually 1979 bodywork, which I got rid of the 1980 ones because I just like the 79 better, and I had 79 bodywork. It's not perfect, so I think like things like this, and if you look on top here, it's kind of peeling. I think it's gonna have to be redone anyways, but maybe I can get away with like painting portions of it and clearing it over. I'm not sure. This tank came with that 1993 CBR, which I plan to do a custom job on. I'm probably going to find another tank because this one's so nice. I don't want to mess up the original paint on this, so I'll probably keep this in case I get another 93 later on. I've literally had like 5 or 6 of this bike, so I'm sure I'll have another one, and maybe this tank will be nicer than one in the future. I don't know, so hold on to that. And then the 93 red, white, blue tank is also very, very mint. If you come over here to my shelf of all kinds of parts, we've got a lot of the CBR stuff here. See here, this is an extra gauge cluster I have. Carburetors for the custom 93, which I have not rebuilt yet. The original shocks. Here we have it's a little covered up, but we got that VFR single-sided swing arm here. Definitely gonna have to clean that up before I use it. And here is the CB750F tank, which definitely needs paint, and I've got to clean the rust out of that as well. If you come over here, you can see the engine head cover, which I've also clear coated. I wanted to give it kind of a factory finish, so what I decided to do, even here with the all of the engine covers, is I vapor blasted them, and then I did like a satin clear coat. It's not quite the factory finish, because the factory finish was definitely more of a chrome or a semi-chrome look, but I'm really happy with this, and I think it's going to look really clean and really nice once it's on the bike. So no complaints here. I think it looks great. And then here we have the fully rebuilt red, white, and blue 93 carburetors. So they are quite literally good as new as well, and ready to put on as soon as I get some other stuff onto that bike. Wiring harness, gonna have to retape that and make sure that's all good to go. And then I have this Öhlins shock. It's actually for a 96 CBR900, and it's the measurements and everything are not quite the same as the 93 model. It's not a great fit, but I'm hoping that if I pair this with the VFR swing arm, I might get a little bit lucky and somehow it evens out and the geometry is great. If not, I'm gonna have to either get an adjustable dog bone or have something custom welded or something to make this fit onto that bike. But this is like a $1,000 shock, and it was hard enough to find this one, and it was impossible to find the correct one for the 1993 model. So I'll make this work. And here we have all the smaller powder coated metal parts from the CB750. So I just sandblasted these, taped them off, and then powder coated the calipers and all these mounts and little brackets. So if you don't know a lot about powder coating, it's a lot more durable than paint, and it's basically just plastic that you coat the metal in and you melt it on. So it's a really durable, solid protective coating, which lasts a lot longer than paint. So I powder coated all of these, and then I vapor blasted these metal parts here for the brake lever and the shifting lever, so they look brand new. I even vapor blast these little bolts and screws. I think it looks a lot better than leaving them the way they are, and it's a lot easier than zinc plating or some of the other methods people use. So this is all going to go on the bike soon. And yes, it's sitting on top of a very old phonograph because I buy stuff that I don't need all the time. And over here I have a 1993 CBR900 windscreen, original windscreen. These are really hard to come by. If you can even find one at all, they're usually like $500. And they're usually super scratched up. So I've been sitting here trying to sand it smooth and then polish it out. You can see it's still very foggy because I have a long way to go. Huge pain in the ass. I cannot emphasize how long this takes. So I kind of stopped midway through and I haven't got back to it because I dread doing it. I was actually making a video for you guys to show the process. And yeah, it's been like a week and a half since I touched this thing. But I'll get back to it. I will finish that video because I think it will be super helpful for people trying to do a stock restoration on their bike. A lot of times the original windscreens, you cannot find them. If you do, you have to sand and polish out all the scratches and marks and things that happen over the years. You know, this bike was my last video. Go check out the last video. The last couple things here. Here's the original wheels for the red, white, and blue 93 CBR. Steering stem, that's all good to go and go back on once I get the forks finished. Brand new tires for that bike. This bike has a 16-inch front rim, which is really hard to find good tires for. I think they might stop making them soon, but I was able to order some from, I think it was Italy. So I got these from Italy and they're gonna go on that bike. So not cheap. This is like $500 for front and rear. Usually it's like 300 or so for all my other bikes. And this is the original stock muffler, which I stripped down. I use this paint stripper. I'll show you guys in another video, but I have this really good paint stripper that strips paint really easily. I've filled in a few little dings and holes here, and then this thing is pretty much ready to be repainted here. Oh, and I have a nice little bike cover here. And for those of you who didn't know or didn't notice in the last video, this doesn't fit where it's supposed to go on the Suzuki because the Yoshimura aftermarket exhaust header sticks out too far. So this is restored, I have it, but I cannot put it on until I put the stock pipe back on, which I don't plan on doing. So, and I have these two Yoshimura aftermarket mufflers as well for the CBRs. Not sure if I'll use these, but I have them. I also have a really, really nice Two Brothers. So we'll see what happens. This is easy enough to swap out when I feel like it. So that'll come last, that decision. Thanks again for checking out my channel, and hopefully you guys are interested in some of these projects I've just shown you. We'll be digging into them soon, so like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time.